Welcome to the open world.
What is actually happening is that I love being here. I love being on Twitch. This has been a dream of mine for so many years that I'm embarrassed to talk about it. Can you imagine meeting a boy that you want to fuck and the first words out of your mouth are, all I want to do is be a famous Twitch streamer? He's never heard of Twitch. He just wants to put his dick in you, and you're talking about Twitch? Guess what, motherfuckers? Sometimes it works out. I fucked that motherfucker, and he bought me this great big toy because I became a famous Twitch streamer. That motherfucker believed in my dream, even though he had never heard of Twitch before. And he sure.
This is where most of the content of both games are. You will wander around the humongous open world for hours and hours. But what do you do in the open world? In these two games, you will be going around to find and rescue the chest that being held hostage, and there are a lot of them. But why are these chests needed to be rescued? Well, they are treasure. And these treasures have 5 tiers, and of course each tier will give you better rewards. These rewards range from money, character materials, or poo. However, in these 5 chests will always contain very, very lit material. Those are your Riz point to get those beautiful women you wanted. You know the what and why now. How? These chests are scattered around the game, and you have different ways to get them. Here is the most common. Put the ghost to bed, solve puzzle.
It goes in the square hole.
Do quirky challenge. Collect orb to upgrade tower, find key, put key in tower. See this thing when you open each chest. Well, give this to the tree, fountain, or shrine. And my personal favorite way to get those chests. Finally, the one most time-consuming but give you the most reward, and something has an impact on that section, mostly for the better, side quest. They are long as shit and quite fun, however, this part is not about them, so be gone. That is generally what you do in both games, but before I talk about their open world, Genshin has been released for more than 4 years now, and obviously Genshin have more content than Wuthering Wave. Because of that, I will only talk about 2 Genshin's regions. And that is Mondstadt and Liyue, just to keep it fair. Now let's dive into both game open world, starting with Genshin. Mondstadt, land of freedom and the drunk.
That drunk is full of magic!
Led by a 24/7 workaholic, John Gunhilder. And the city is protected by a rich man wandering around at night, beating the living shit out of the homeless, gangster and monster, just like Batman with some help from a hot, edgy nun. There's also Venti, who has godly power, decides to do nothing but consume alcohol all day. That's the people. What about the region? Well, basically ruins, mountains, and trees, just like your usual isekai anime, except for one place. That was Mondstadt in a nutshell, an okay region for the most part. I will get a solid B tier in the tier list, but if not for one thing, so thanks to that, it got an A tier. Next stop, China. Liyue, and just like China, this is where the money comes from. There, God literally created this world currency called Mora. Speaking of which, Rex Lapis, aka Zhongli, the CEO of this region, decided to do a bit of trolling so he can go undercover to protect Liyue. However, his secretary, Ningguang, literally has more money than God, already did that twice, so he doesn't have to do anything. Now then, what about the Liyue landscape? Well, mountains, high mountains. And this is Genshin version 1.x, so you don't have those attack on Titan mechanic yet. You fucking climb those bitches. And this is a perfect section to introduce you to the stamina bar. In exploration, this stamina bar will drain when you sprint, climb, or swim. And here's a pop quiz. What happens if you run out of stamina in the middle of the lake or climbing the mountain? So remember to keep the stamina in mind while exploring. Now, despite occasionally minor annoyances, this region is and with great music like A tier. That is Genshin first 2 region in a nutshell. What do you think? Welcome to Wuthering Waves' apocalyptic world. It's called Solaris 3, and here are the places that I can remember because the game have a skip button. Modern Liu, Unsunken Valley, Unhell Dragon Spine, Chernobyl, and Fallout. I might not remember much about the places or the lore, but I do remember the gear. In exploration, the game gives you a lot of useful tools, and here are my top 3. First, the chest finder. Like the name, it finds you unmarked chest in that area. The max you can deploy is 3, and unlike Genshin, you don't have to craft them. Second is Walmart Spider-Man. Give you 1 air grapple, give you extra mobility with a few second cooldown. Finally, my favorite tool for exploring, legs. We can parkour in this game.
You are my sunshine.
Your character is max on agility. You can also wall run, air dash, and more amazingly, your stamina bar only drains when you wall run, swim, and glide. Genshin can also glide. Forget to tell you that. Now, I will stop glazing Wuthering Waves. I'll go into the part I don't like about exploration. The music. Suck. Kuro's music composer used to make absolute heaters like these. Most of the open world and bosses' soundtracks are forgettable, except the dragon boss takes me back to Sekiro. That song is really good. Speaking of bosses, Wuthering also has something in the open world that I really like, the boss challenges, and these guys will really hard. They are not here to play nice. They have combos, very chonky, and they do. Getting Gud is now mandatory, so put on your big boy pants and get in there. Or you could just do something else that's okay too. Overall, not a lot of good soundtracks, but a lot of fun content to make the exploration more enjoyable rather than miserable. Speaking of miserables, it's time to talk about the... Hey gamer, did you just get your first 5-star SSR rarity waifu? However, she is not doing any kind of damage to those homeless people. Well, you need to upgrade them.
Stop it!
Here's what you need. Genshin needs 4 materials, Wuthering needs 3. 1 is from bosses, 2 if you are Genshin, other is from the open world, the last one from enemies also in the open world. So get to grinding. Okay, we are done with your characters, our max level now. We are done here, right? Wrong. You also need character skill, and these skills need their own material. And each materials have different domains, so back to the mine you go. So you are done with your trait? Surely you have finished building your character by now. Your characters have weapons. If you are playing Wuthering, good news. The weapon materials are the same as the skill materials. However, if you are playing Genshin, you have another kind of material. Back to the mind you go.
Oh my god, I can't wait. Now I have to witness her coming back. This is so cool! What the heck? Mouse always has the best game.
I'm back.
Welcome back!
Welcome back, welcome back. What the? Oh, thank God! Look at him!
Finally, we are done right. Maxed out character skill, maxed out weapon. We can finally move on to the next section. I saved the worst for last. Before I talk about why these things cause both players to have I will start with what. In a nutshell, these give stat, buff, and effect. For example, in Genshin, some artifact can make enemies resistant, disappear with a gust of wind, make your character into a live grenade every few seconds by healing, and make your reaction more deadly. Wuthering also is kinda similar with the effect. The difference here, you can transform into each kind of monster you adopt. We are done with the gritty. Let's go to the shitty. In Genshin, you have 5 slots of artifact, and to trigger the effect I just mentioned, you only need 4. Slot 1 and 2 always have the same main stats, which is health and damage. 3 is range from these, 4 from these, and 5 is range from these. 3 to 5 main stats are randomized when you get them from your grinding section. Speaking of domain, each domain has 2 sets, so you won't always get the set you wanted. And also, each character needs a different main stat.
ごめん、あまない。
So all you need to farm for the right 3 to 5 main stat and 4 full artifacts of that set and the 1 random stat boost. Oh wait, the pain is not done yet. If you have been paying attention, I said main stat. That means there is a substat. Artifacts have different tiers. And I only focus on the highest tier. Lower tier is just a placeholder because the prestige tier gives you more bonuses than lower ones. Now with that out of the way, each piece has 4 substat, and these substat give you these stats. Here a tier list for these stats, and 4 of them are also randomized, but I'm not done yet. You also need to upgrade your artifact. Max level is 20, and each 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20 level will randomly boost your substat. So either you get lucky and got your god tier artifact piece, or how Maxer said it.
Hey, so I see you're trying to level up your crit rate. Wow, that's a weird way to spell defense.
Okay? You think to yourself, Genshin grinding is not the best. What about Wuthering? Wuthering is different. They have 5 slots of echoes and 12 points, and I will explain the way I understand it, aka a troglodyte.
I am God, therefore I bunda.
There are 3 types of points. The 4-point. You get from killing the big one, 3 from killing the medium one, and 1 from killing small one, and you have 5 slot. Do math, and you got the optimize, 4, 3, 3, 1, 1, the crit 4, 4, 3, 1, the 1 mental illness, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Cheers, mate!
And 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And don't worry about the substat, also make it return. 5 slots, max level 25. If that is not tedious enough, in Genshin you either use the shit one to upgrade the good one, or buy artifacts EXP from some shop. In Wuthering, you either kill open-world monsters or kill them in some spawn arena. Now you got the stat you wanted. You just need to farm another EXP materials for it. So different way to upgrade, same kind of pain. However, the mental will said, nah, I'd grind. We got you covered. There is a limit for you to farm per day in both games. No limit if you are rich. That is the pain you will have if you decide to commit your life to this game. Just like marriage, there will be sex. But there will be shit.
Dab me up.